This is fucking happening. Secureteam's Discord got hacked. Wow. Holy shit. This shit just keeps getting wild. I'm sorry, Tyler. Fuck. This sucks. They keep... Oh, they just wiped that. They keep... What the fuck is going on?
Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. To start out today's video, I have some bad news to those of you who were members of the Secureteam Discord server, which was a chat room that I created, if you remember, about 9 months ago. Recently, it was taken over. It was nuked, as they call it, or raided. I don't know if it was hackers or if it was a moderator that went rogue, but the server was deleted. I found out about it. Everything was deleted. Everyone was banned. We had almost, at one point, 12,000 members just by word of mouth that had joined, and it was a place where we could discuss UFOs and where there were thousands of posts by members of UFO videos, sighting reports, pictures of people wearing their Secureteam merch, and a ton of files and information that are now gone, and unfortunately I cannot get that back. It has been deleted. The server is still there, but everything has been wiped away. So I apologize if any of you who were a member got banned and thought that I had done it. I found out later. I hadn't been there in a while to chat with anyone, and so it's just been a very, very rough week. But we will not be silenced. We will continue this fight for truth. The only thing I regret is that I didn't know enough about Discord, and I don't know enough about it to understand what exactly happened, other than it was raided and shut down by someone where they deleted the files or took them or kept them. I don't know what happened, but it's sad that something I worked so hard to build for this community, just another outlet for us to hang out together, that was just a waste. And so, again, I apologize for that. And whether a new server is to be created remains to be seen. And so, with that bad news out of the way, let's get to some interesting UFO footage and discoveries today, guys, alright? And so, if you remember in my very most recent video, we talked about this large square structure that was found on top of the hill on the moon, and how it had structure to it. It had shadow. It was at the very top of this mountain peak and was not only casting a shadow on the ground, but had shadowing on the roof of this thing that led some to believe that this base or building could have a pyramid-shaped roof. And so I wanted to show you some new photos that a viewer sent me of some other suspicious things found on Google Moon that look like straight-up bases or installations of some kind. Some look like domes, some look like building complexes. So here's the first set of images emailed over to me by Michael Burns. Thanks for the screenshots. These were taken from Google Earth, straight from the satellite images snapped by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. That's actually what it's called, the keyword being reconnaissance. And so we have these first two images of, this looks like a building office complex, or, you know, like a shopping mall or something like that. It's got shadow to it. I mean, it's got right angles, what look like horizontal white pillars coming out, and it's really strange. And here the thing is sideways. I'm not sure if this is the same base or something completely different, but again, we're seeing these different side angles where it almost looks like there is a black dome in the middle rising up from the surface. I mean, this is from the side here, a dome of some kind with a massive square wall wrapping around it, almost like a prison. And again, it has light and shadow. And then the last set of two images he sent over were of this, which it looks like another black, you know, metallic dark dome of some sort. Again, with what looks like light glinting off of the side of it, as if it were metallic. And here's a side view of that. So yeah, so we're starting to discover there are some things on the moon that I think NASA left in there simply because they knew the resolution was low enough that it would just barely give us enough detail to say, okay, this looks like something there, but nothing that NASA would ever have to defend or anything like that. You know, that's how they toy with you. So tell me what you guys think and check out that last video. Our moon is very mysterious. And after I'm done doing this, I am going straight out and I'm seeing that new movie that just came out called Moonfall, which if you haven't seen the trailer, Google it, about the moon suddenly heading and moving straight toward Earth. It looks awesome. So now, speaking of the moon, here we have a new discovery that actually predated us going to the moon. And so you guys have seen all of the pictures I've posted in the past, very famous set of photographs of these mysterious, unidentified, black, triangular objects that have been snapped by cameras from inside the window of the space station or the shuttle, and these are real images showing this dark triangle changing its angle as it flies or moves slowly away from the window. Many believe it to be a possible TR-3B or a just total off-world alien craft, but in this new discovery, here we have a photo which, zoomed out, looks harmless enough. This was snapped during one of the early Apollo missions, I think it was maybe Apollo 9, where the astronauts had been sent up into space merely to do spacewalks and orbit the Earth. This is when they were planning on going to the moon, but first they had to get into space, learn how to orbit, and then years later they would build the moon lander and go to the moon. And so this is a photo that was snapped by one of the astronauts doing spacewalks before coming safely back down to Earth. And first of all, this photo is sideways, so let's flip it up to the correct perspective here. And remember, this photo was taken from space, so you are looking at thousands upon thousands of miles from one end of the picture to the other. And just like in the past photos of the dark triangular craft seen above Earth in shuttle missions that happened many decades later, well, as we're zooming in, this was discovered to be lurking amongst these clouds all the way back in the mid-60s when this photo was taken. See that little dot there? That's our baby right there. I mean, this thing is virtually undetectable. Even when the photo is just halfway zoomed in, it's still hard to see. But when we go all the way in, we get yet another dark triangle UFO that seems to be at an angle, as if it's flying right above the clouds, right at the line where the Earth's atmosphere meets space. Almost like it was just orbiting the Earth, along with the astronauts, who likely, when snapping this photo, had no idea that this mysterious black triangle was hundreds and hundreds of miles away in the distance, and likely much closer to Earth. But it's just an amazing find. I'm leaning more towards these being alien in nature, because now we have photographs capturing these things above Earth some 20, 30 years before the infamous window photos that everyone has seen. So here you're seeing the comparison, and you've been seeing the contrast version to bring out the shape and shade of the object. And here is a comparison showing the full zoomed out shot in the top left corner, and then the bottom two are showing the mystery object zoomed all the way in. And then lastly, we have here the photograph, which has simply been inverted to give us the true shape of this object. And I mean, it's right there. Need I say more? Tell me what you think. These TR-3Bs, these mystery triangles, they are everywhere. And by the way, if you want to learn more about the mysterious TR-3B, just a reminder, the film that I was lucky to be a part of and do some narration in is now out for rent. It's on all major platforms: iTunes, Vimeo, Amazon, both in HD and 4K. It's out for rent now. You can purchase it or you can rent it for $4.99, and it was really fun to work on. It's still strange seeing a preview of my face on Amazon, but yeah, you can click the link down below, which will take you to the main website for the film, which will give you all of the different streaming links. And I know that the director of the film, Darcy, he would really appreciate it, and I'd appreciate it, and it's just a very interesting documentary on the history of these mystery triangles, along with some really cool never-before-seen footage. So check that link out down below, check out the film, and leave a review if you liked it. So next, and we seem to be on a triangle UFO binge tonight, but here's some footage of some mystery lights seen in the skies sent to me via email by viewers. The first coming from Mr. Greg Laralde, who emailed me this clip and simply said in the email that these lights were in a triangular formation and they were taken and seen over the night skies of Miami, Florida just 2 or 3 days ago.
Están cayendo los estrellas.
Mira, carnal, mira, chocaron dos.
Mira. ¿Cómo se mueven?
Sí. se desapareció uno. Quedan 5 nada más. Están acá atrás del edificio, güey. Mira cómo cambian de dirección, carnal.
Y ya está prendiendo más. Traen luces rojas arriba, ¿ya viste? Se miran como luces rojas arriba.
Okay, I mean, this is some pretty crazy footage. Yeah, we start out with just an amalgamation of lights, but that quickly move apart from one another, and each suddenly form its own triangular formation. Sometimes you can't see the lights, but other times you can, and when you watch the footage sped up, it's almost as if these are solid craft and they are simply turning. And at certain angles, obviously, you're not going to be able to see through the craft and you're not going to see the light on one of the corners of it. And so this is very, very mysterious how one of them finally drifts off behind the buildings and then the other craft just kind of continues spinning there and sits in midair before the video just abruptly ends. So, very, very interesting. I mean, this is some triangular acrobatics going on here. Anyone over Miami see this, send me an email, and if you guys have footage, upload it to YouTube and email me the link to it at secureteamnews@gmail.com. The links are all down in the video description. Now, here is another video that was submitted yet again by a viewer via that email address, and it's a very short video, but it starts all the way zoomed out as you're seeing in this image here, and it's nighttime, it's blurry, but what you're seeing is a highway in the distance. The white lights on the ground are vehicles that are actually stopped and are looking at this massive, once again, 3-light triangular formation that just looks to be hovering and even stopping other motorists who want to see this thing.
I don't know what those are.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. It looks like at the end, one of the lights may have disappeared behind the horizon or behind these car lights here. You know, nighttime footage, what are you going to do? But still, very similar to the Miami footage. And again, some of these things, I think, are fluid where you could see through them. At other times, they seem to have the ability to suddenly become solid triangular craft, which then, as they turn and change angle, would totally explain why certain lights would disappear for a moment before returning as the object rotates in the sky. So tell me what you think. This was sent in by Noah Sosa, so big thanks, Noah. Keep sending in that footage. And so, to play us off today, I think it would be fitting, especially with the what turned into, and not even by design, a, you know, sort of TR3B or mystery triangle themed video. Here is a deleted scene from the previously mentioned film that I was a part of, which is called Secret Space UFOs: Rise of the TR3B, where the director is asking Jim Goodall, the go-to historian for anything involving aeronautics and other secretive aircraft that he was even a part of. And well, like I said, I think it's only fitting. So check this out.
Now let me ask you, when people mention the B-2 bomber, and then you hear about the Phoenix Lights, or people mention the Mac Air, do you think that there's, we got to a point, I mean, I've seen the interviews from Bob Lazar. He says we're nowhere close to reverse engineering, you know, back when he was working on the project, their propulsion system. But then Ben Rich contradicts that and says we're 50 years beyond your comprehension. Do you think there are some triangular shaped craft that we have developed that follow the description of what people describe as like a TR3B?
I would have to say yes. There isn't anything out there flying, regardless of the shape, that we don't have the capabilities of reproducing, using conventional means for propulsion. Now, there's been reports, you see a UFO heading down this way at 4,000 miles an hour and it makes a 90-degree turn. You're pulling 40 Gs on that turn. And a buddy of mine from the Skunk Works said, we can do that any day of the week. Not with humans in it, but you know, we put control computers in artillery rounds where we can, once they're fired and it's a tremendous, you know, explosion to push that thing out the barrel, and the fins come out, and this thing's guided to precisely hit where it wants to go, and they're pulling 40 to 100 Gs on detonation. So that we have the hardware and the electronics that can withstand those extremes, but they're not human rated, nor could a human withstand those under normal circumstances.
So you worked on some aircraft in, I think it was 1972, you said, that had a drone attached to the top of it. You think that some of the delta-shaped crafts that we're seeing and hearing about might be drones to some degree?
Absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff that people are seeing, airline pilots and other people, trained observers, guys from NASA, Air Force types, whatever. The first time I saw an F-117 at sunset, as the sun was going down, the light was changing on the faceted surfaces. It looked like the F-117 was changing shape. And if you look at a head-on view of an F-117, it's a flying saucer, if you look at it straight on. Now, if you just saw a glimpse of it, or you saw the backside of it, it could be mistaken for almost anything.
Okay guys, so I want to thank all of you for stopping by. If you want to see more and watch the film, like I said, the link is down below. I want to say I'm sorry again to all of the thousands of Discord members who got kicked. It's been a very stressful, sad week for me. I mean, it was just like one more thing to add to the list, I swear, lately. But we will not be silenced. With that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please throw me a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you could to appease the YouTube algorithm. Stay safe, guys. Stay tuned, and I will see you all back in just a bit.